Boom. You're here. Not by accident. Not by chance. You're here because something inside of you is screaming. And the world? It pretends not to hear it. They're hoping you stay silent, stay soft, stay tame. Because your silence, it's not peace. To them, it's terror. It's the calm before a war they aren't ready for. They fear your rise. They need your silence. Because the second you decide to move, to speak, to act, everything breaks. Their control, their comfort, their illusions. Let's get something brutally clear right now. The world doesn't give a damn about your potential. It doesn't owe you a stage. It doesn't owe you applause. It doesn't care if you've got greatness inside you unless you're savage enough to drag it out with your bare hands. And that's the war you're in. Not with others. With yourself. You've been lied to, coddled, fed soft poison disguised as love. Take your time. You'll get there eventually. Don't burn out. Bullshit, that's not love. That's sedation. That's comfort culture wrapped in velvet, chains. And every second you buy into it, you're dying. Not in body, but in soul, in fire, in purpose. And they know that. They bet on it. Because your silence, it makes them feel safe. But when you break it, when you step out of that cage, they built with soft words and low standards, they'll panic. They'll beg for the version of you that stayed quiet, the one that said maybe later, the one that made excuses, the one that surrendered without a fight. Let me say it louder. You are at war. Not the kind with bullets or bombs, but the kind with weakness, with mediocrity, with the comfortable death that creeps in when you stop moving. Right now, you've got people around you who need you to fail. Not because they hate you, no. Because if you rise, it shatters the illusion they've built around their excuses. If you rise, they can't pretend anymore. If you rise, they either evolve or die bitter. So you know what they do? They smother your fire with concern. They tell you to be realistic. They say you've changed. They say, who do you think you are? I'll tell you who you are. You're a fucking storm. You're the noise that breaks ceilings. The fire that burns down old versions of you. The weapon that can't be held by fear anymore. And they feel it. Even when you say nothing. Especially when you say nothing. Because real power doesn't come from screaming. It comes from conviction, from presence, from the look in your eyes that says, I'm not here to play, I'm here to conquer. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the stars to align, for support to show up, for motivation to pat you on the back and hand you a plan. It's not coming, and it shouldn't. You've got to earn it in blood, sweat, silence, and grit. You've got to want it so bad it haunts your sleep and chokes your excuses. You've got to look in the mirror and declare war. Not just once. Every single day. This world isn't run by the talented. It's run by the relentless, the unhinged. The ones who stopped begging for a spot and took it with scars on their knuckles and hunger in their eyes. So yeah, maybe you've been quiet. Maybe you've been planning. Maybe you've been hurting. But now you move. Now you destroy. Now you become the thing they pray never wakes up. And when they hear your footsteps echo in the silence they once cherished, they'll realize your silence wasn't weakness, it was warning. You want to know why you're still stuck, why your fire hasn't turned into fury, why your dreams are still whispers and not war cries. It's because you've swallowed the lie. Not once, not twice, but daily. Fed to you by society, by broken people, by your own damn reflection. That lie is simple. It's seductive. And it's deadly. You've got time. Time? Time is the biggest scam you've ever believed. It's the lie that keeps killers soft, legends silent, and warriors asleep. You think tomorrow is guaranteed. You think your potential is waiting patiently on a shelf, untouched, unspoiled. It's rotting. Every second you waste is a bullet in the gun you're using on your own greatness. You're bleeding potential and you don't even feel it anymore. That's the horror. You've gone numb. You think surviving is enough. You think breathing means living. It doesn't. You're confusing existing with executing. Let me be crystal clear. Existing is passive. Executing is savage. You wake up, go through the motions, and call it a life. That's not living. That's leaking. You're leaking power, energy, willpower, because you believe the lie that there's still time. To get serious, how many years are you going to waste convincing yourself you're almost ready? How many opportunities are you going to watch pass because the timing wasn't perfect? Guess what? It never will be. They lied to you about balance. They lied to you about comfort. They lied to you about waiting for clarity. Clarity doesn't come before action. It comes from it. But the lie? It tells you to wait, to plan, to prepare. And while you're preparing, someone else is out. They're executing like a beast, bleeding, failing, falling, but moving, while you sit there and think. You've been tricked into worshiping comfort. Let me tell you what comfort is. It's a coffin with cushions. It feels good, looks good, but it kills you slow. Because when you believe the lie, you start making deals with your demons. You say, I'll rest today. I'll start next week. I need to heal first, and more lies. Healing doesn't mean waiting. It means fighting while bleeding. Warriors don't wait until they're whole to march. They fight with broken bones and burning lungs, because the mission matters more than the wound. But here you are, bargaining, with time like it's infinite. You want sympathy. You want patience. You want understanding. No, you need war. You need chaos. You need to be slapped in the face with the truth until you spit out every soft excuse you've ever whispered to yourself in the dark. And here's another lie you love to cradle. I'm doing my best. Are you? Or are you just doing what's comfortable? There's a difference. Doing your best doesn't mean pushing until you're tired. It means pushing until you're unrecognizable. Until your old self is a corpse. Until the version of you that used to hesitate, overthink, delay, that version is dead and buried. But you keep giving 60% and calling it discipline. You keep mistaking half effort for commitment. You keep clapping for yourself after small wins like you've arrived. Let me say it loud. You haven't done shit yet. Not until the world feels your presence like a punch to the throat. Not until your name sends a chill through every excuse-riddled soul around you. Not until you become undeniable. But you won't. Not if you keep swallowing the poison of later. Not if you keep hugging that lie to your chest like it's a shield. It's not. It's a noose. They tell you not to be too intense. They say you need balance. They want you docile, tame, predictable. Why? Because your chaos scares them. Because your hunger reminds them they've been starving themselves for years. Because when you wake up, you make them question why the hell they ever went to sleep. And that's why the world wants you soft. Not because you're weak, because you're dangerous. But only if you stop believing the lie. You think discipline is a mood? You think motivation shows up in the morning like coffee and stretches? Hell no. Discipline is doing the work even when your bones ache. Motivation is a byproduct of progress, not a prerequisite for it. You don't wait to feel ready. You move like a goddamn juggernaut until readiness becomes irrelevant. And if you won't do it for yourself, do it for the version of you suffocating in silence. The version buried under shame, fear, laziness, and lies. The version that wakes up in cold sweat at 3 a.m. wondering why there's still not enough. It's time to burn it down. The hesitation, the doubt, the illusion that you've got time. You don't. You never did. And the longer you believe you do, the more your dreams rot from the inside out. So here's the truth. They lied. And you believed it. But not anymore. Now you rise. Now you fight. Now you break the back of every lie that's ever kept you tame. Because the silence inside you is turning into a roar. And when it finally erupts, nothing will survive it. Let me hit you with something you're not ready to hear. The world doesn't care about your potential. It doesn't care about your struggles. It doesn't care about your dreams, your plans, your excuses. The world, it's a cold, merciless machine, and it only rewards action. You think it's about talent? You think it's about how smart you are? How many degrees you've got? How many hours you've spent learning? It's not. It's about your ability to execute. And if you can't execute, then your dreams are dead. And it doesn't matter how much you cry about it. The raw truth is this. The world will chew you up and spit you out if you're not hungry enough. If you're not vicious enough. If you're not willing to claw your way through every fucking wall they build to stop you. How many times have you let your own doubt stop you from even trying? How many times have you given up because it was too hard, or too much, or not the right time? That's the truth. Right there. You've been playing nice. You've been waiting for someone to hand you an opportunity. You've been hoping things would align, but they never will. They never were going to. This is war. And in war, no one cares about your excuses. No one cares about your injuries. No one cares about how tired you are or how much you've sacrificed. They care about who wins, and guess what? If you're not ruthless enough to take it, then you're not a warrior. You're a fucking casualty. And no one remembers casualties. You've been sold a lie about balance, about self-care, about taking breaks, being kind to yourself, and giving yourself time to heal. Here's the truth. None of that shit matters if you're not moving. You think taking a day off will somehow make you a better person? You think rest is going to fix the hunger in your soul? That's exactly what they want you to believe. That's exactly how they keep you weak. Warriors don't rest until they've conquered. They don't take breaks because their bodies ache. They don't ask for permission to take time off when the enemy is advancing. They go, they grind, they win, and then and only then do they look around and say, I did it. But you've been comfortable. Comfortable in your inaction. Comfortable in your wait until I feel ready mindset. Comfortable in your excuses. And now? Now you wonder why you feel dead inside. Why your dreams have faded into the distance. Why you feel like something's missing. That something is your fire, your drive, your hunger, your ability to destroy. And it's all been smothered by the lies you've been told. This isn't just about dreams, this isn't just about success. This is about survival. Because the world is a battlefield. And if you don't show up with everything you've got, if you don't go to war every single day, then you'll be buried under the weight of your own mediocrity. And let me tell you something. Mediocrity doesn't care about you. It doesn't care if you're talented or if you've got potential. It doesn't care about your good intentions. It will grind you down. It will leave you behind. Look around. Look at the people who didn't give up. Look at the ones who didn't wait for the perfect moment. Look at the ones who got dirty and gritty and real. The ones who didn't care about the sacrifices, the pain, or the blood they shed. Those are the ones who rise. Those are the ones who break the rules, crush the barriers, and take the world down. And they don't apologize for it. This isn't some game. You're not here to play. You're here to win. And to win, you have to make it personal. Every single day. You've got to wake up with that burning hunger in your chest, that desire to tear everything down that stands in your way. The raw truth is this. You have to be willing to destroy the version of yourself that's too weak to survive this fight. You've got to burn everything you thought you knew about comfort, about ease, about doing things the right way. Because there is no right way. There is only your way. And if you're not willing to go to the extremes to get what you want, then you'll never have it. Don't tell me about your dreams. I don't want to hear about your vision if you're not willing to bleed for it. If you're not willing to go through hell to make it a reality, then those dreams don't matter. They're just fantasies. And fantasies don't change the world. Every second you sit in hesitation, every minute you waste on your doubts, the world is moving forward without you. So stop wasting time waiting for permission. Stop wasting time looking for a blueprint. The only blueprint you need is your will. It's your hunger. It's your refusal to die in silence. The world doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't owe you understanding. It doesn't owe you kindness. It doesn't owe you patience. What it does owe you is one thing: the chance to fight. And if you're too weak to take it, then you lose. End of story. This is the real world. This is the battlefield. And in this battle, you either win or die. No one cares how tired you are. No one cares about your history, your trauma, your valid reasons for being stuck. You either move or you get trampled. So it's time to face the harshest truth you've been avoiding. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success on a silver platter. No one is going to throw you a parade. You've got to take it. You've got to rip it from the hands of the universe. And if you're not prepared to do that, then you might as well just step aside. Your silence, it's death. Your hesitation, it's poison. Your inaction, it's your grave. Now get out of it. You want to know what happens if you don't change? You want to know the real cost of your weakness? Here it is. You die 1,000 slow deaths, one after another. You suffocate on your own potential, trapped in a prison of fear and hesitation, and no one will care. No one will remember you. The world won't even blink. You think failure is the worst thing that can happen to you? You think rejection is the worst thing that can happen? You think the worst thing you can do is try and fail? No. The worst thing you can do is nothing. Do you understand what that means? Let me make it clear. If you don't move, if you don't fight, If you don't decide to wake the fuck up every single day and hunt down the life you want, you'll die on the inside, piece by piece, day after day, until you're a shell of the person you were meant to be. You're already dying. Slowly. That fire in you, it's flickering out. The dreams you once had, they're dissolving into nothingness. And all because you couldn't make the choice to step up. All because you couldn't break the chains of comfort and hesitation that keep you chained to mediocrity. Let me say it again. You're dying. Right now. You think it's just going to get better one day. You think you'll wake up tomorrow and everything will just magically fall into place. That's the biggest lie you've been fed. The truth is, it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. The longer you wait, the more you stagnate. The more you fade into the background. You think life's going to wait for you to get your shit together. It won't. And if you're not moving, if you're not chasing, if you're not fighting, then you will be left behind. The world is a beast. It doesn't care if you're too tired to fight. It doesn't care if you're too scared to face the truth. It will keep moving, and it will leave you behind in its dust. And guess what? No one is coming to save you. Your silence, your hesitation, your excuses, it's all just a slow death. You're bleeding out, and the longer you ignore the truth, the more it bleeds you dry. Think about it. How much time have you already wasted? How many opportunities have slipped through your fingers because you thought you had more time? How many chances have you passed up because you were too afraid to make a move? How many times have you convinced yourself that tomorrow would be different? It won't. Tomorrow is just an illusion. Tomorrow is just the enemy of progress. But what happens when you finally realize it's too late? What happens when you see everything you could have been slipping through your fingers and the weight of all that lost time crushes you? That's the true horror of inaction. Not that you failed. Not that you tried and fell short, but that you never even tried. You sat there paralyzed by your own fear, convinced that tomorrow would be the day you'd start. And now tomorrow is here, but it's too late. The world has moved on, and you're stuck, watching the life you could have had slip through your fingers like sand. Let's be real. What is the real consequence of weakness? It's not just failure. It's not just disappointment. It's irrelevance. You become invisible. The world will move on without you, and you will be forgotten. You will die in silence, and no one will care. Not your friends, not your family, not your loved ones. No one. In the end, the only thing that matters is the impact you leave behind. And if you're not out there fighting for your vision, if you're not tearing down every single barrier that stands in your way, then you're nothing more than a ghost, a whisper, a shadow of someone who could have been something, but wasn't. And the longer you sit, the more you waste, the more you allow fear and hesitation to control you, the further you get from your true potential. It's not just a loss. It's the slowest, most agonizing death you can imagine. You're not dying fast, you're dying slowly. One decision at a time, one missed opportunity at a time, one broken promise to yourself at a time. And you will die like that. Alone. Forgotten. A wasted life. Do you understand the stakes now? It's not just about success or failure. It's not just about reaching your goals. It's about survival. It's about whether or not you're willing to claw your way to the top and take what's yours. Because If you're not willing to fight, if you're not willing to push beyond every limit you've set for yourself, then you will be erased. And that's a fate worse than any failure. That's a fate that you can never come back from. You can't rewind time. You can't go back and undo the wasted years, the wasted seconds, the missed chances. What's gone is gone. But what you do from here on out, that's up to you. You can either keep walking down the path of weakness, letting time slip through your hands, or you can make the choice right now to fight, to rise, to burn everything down and rebuild from the ashes. The price of weakness is a life you'll never get back. And when you finally realize it, when you see how much you've lost, that's when the true pain hits. But by then it might be too late, and you'll never know what you could have been, what you could have done, what you could have conquered. So make a choice. Fight now or die later. But understand this. If you keep holding on to the past, if you keep holding on to your weakness, you're already dead. You want to know what it takes to rise from the ashes? You want to know how to break free from the chains that have been holding you back? The chains you've let define you for far too long? It starts now, not tomorrow, not when things feel right. It starts right now, right here, right in this moment. Because if you wait, you'll never get it. If you wait for the perfect time, for everything to line up, for the stars to align in some fairy tale scenario, you're already dead. If you're still sitting there, hoping and praying for something to fall into your lap, then you've already lost. This is war. And in war, there is no waiting. There is no perfect timing. There is only action. Relentless, violent, unstoppable action. If you're tired of dying in silence, then the only way out is to rise. You have to rise from the mediocrity. Rise from the comfortable, lazy grave you've been lying in. The one you've allowed to swallow you whole. You've been complacent for too long, watching the world pass you by. You've been waiting for something to change, hoping for someone to make it easier for you. But that's not how this works. You make it happen. You tear down the walls. You fight for every inch of ground. And if you're not ready for that, then get the hell out of the way. Because those of us who are hungry, who are willing to bleed for what we want, we're coming for it. Do you understand the power of a decision? The moment you choose to act, that's the moment you step out of your own shadow and into the fire. That's when the world starts to fear you. That's when you become a force of nature. You've been weak, you've hesitated, you've been afraid to act because you didn't feel like you were ready. But guess what? There is no ready. There is only now. And right now, you have the chance to make your move, to take what's yours. But don't make the mistake of thinking this is going to be easy. It's not. It's going to be violent. It's going to be brutal. It's going to require everything you've got, and then some. This is where you break free from the lies you've been living. This is where you stop making excuses. This is where you leave behind the version of yourself that has been too scared, too comfortable, too fucking weak to move. The time to hide is over. The time to stay quiet, to sit back, to wait for life to happen is over. You don't wait. You don't sit. You don't hope. You force it. The only thing stopping you from breaking through to the life you want is your own fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of pain, fear of what people will think. Fear that you're not good enough. But what's worse, living in fear, letting it control every action, every thought, every decision, or walking straight into that fear, eyes wide open, and owning it. Fear doesn't own you. You own it. Every time you let fear control you, every time you hesitate, every time you make another excuse, you are robbing yourself of your own power. You are deciding in that moment that you're not worthy of greatness, that you're not worth the fight, that you'd rather live in a mediocre hell than step into the unknown, where the real warriors play. But not anymore. Not from this moment forward. You've had enough. Enough of the silence. Enough of the inaction. Enough of letting fear dictate your path. Enough of waiting for permission. You will rise now, or you will stay buried forever. And when you will rise with everything you've got. No holding back, no hesitation, no second guessing. Just pure, raw, unrelenting action. Rise like the warrior you were always meant to be. Rise like the hurricane that sweeps away anything in its path. Rise like the fire that burns everything down until nothing remains but your victory. You think you're too broken to rise? That your past is too ugly to overcome? That your mistakes are too heavy to carry? No. Those are your weapons. Those scars, those failures, those battles you fought and lost, they're your armor now. Every one of those experiences is fuel for the fire. You use them not as excuses, but as reasons to fight harder. The raw truth is this: the world will not give you what you want just because you deserve it. The world will only give you what you take. And if you're not ready to take it, if you're not willing to fight, claw, and bleed for it, then you have no business standing in this fight. But if you are ready, if you are hungry, if you are willing to shed your skin and be reborn through the fire, then there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you. The time to rise is now. The time to show the world who you really are is now. No more waiting. No more hiding. No more excuses. Get the hell up. Step into the fire. Fight for your life. This is the moment. This is your time. And you will make it count. Enough. Enough of the waiting. Enough of the hesitation. Enough of the lies you've been telling yourself. The world owes you nothing. You owe it to yourself. Every second you waste, you lose a piece of yourself. Every moment you choose comfort over action, you surrender more of your potential to the void. And that's the truth. The raw, unforgiving truth you've been avoiding. There is no magical moment where everything clicks into place. There is no perfect time to start. There is no future version of yourself who's more prepared, more capable, more deserving of greatness. The future is now. You've always had what you need, right here, right now. You've been in your own way, and no one's coming to rescue you. The cavalry isn't on its way. It's you versus you. It's you versus the world. It's you versus every excuse, every fear, every ounce of doubt that's kept you shackled in place. Now here's the deal. You are at a crossroads. You are standing on the edge of your own destiny. There's a fork in the road. One path leads to the same old bullshit, the same endless cycle of maybe next time, I'll get to it eventually. I don't deserve it yet. The other path? It leads straight into hellfire. It leads to war. It leads to a fight you're going to give everything you've got to win. It leads to victory. It leads to the life you were always meant to have. The one you've been too afraid to take. The one that's rightfully yours, so choose. Choose right now. Do you want to keep existing or do you want to live? Do you want to keep pretending that the world owes you something? Or do you want to go out and take it with your own hands? Do you want to keep hiding behind your fear? Or do you want to rip that fear apart and let it fuel you? Because if you're not willing to fight, if you're not willing to do what it takes, then just stop. Right now. Close your eyes. Forget this whole damn conversation. Go back to your life of mediocrity, your life of silence. But don't come crying when nothing changes. Don't come begging for a second chance when your time is up, because you won't get one. This is it. This is the moment. You stand at the edge. Now either you jump or you fall back into the darkness, and if you jump, you don't look back. You don't stop, you don't question whether or not you're ready. You don't ask for permission. You don't wait for someone to tell you it's okay. You just move. You break through every barrier, every wall, every limitation you've put in your own way. You rise above the voices in your head telling you that you can't. You rise above the weight of your past mistakes. You rise above every moment you've spent doubting yourself. And you don't stop. You don't ever stop. You want success? You want freedom? You want the life you've been dreaming of? It's not going to fall into your lap. It's not going to be handed to you on a silver platter. You don't get to wait for someone else to give it to you. You have to take it. By force, by willpower, by sheer goddamn determination. You are a warrior. You were made for this. And you will not stop until every ounce of your potential is realized. You will claw your way to the top. You will fight for every inch of ground. You will refuse to stay in the shadows. You will rise from the ashes again and again until there's nothing left to burn. And when the world looks at you, when it sees the fire you've become, it will fear you. Because it will know you are unstoppable. You are relentless. You are a force of nature. Now get up, step forward and take what's yours. The world is waiting for you to make your move. It's time.